You don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need to fight to be feared. You just need to become someone they can't figure out, someone they can't influence, seduce, or predict. In a world where everyone wears their emotions on their sleeves and begs for attention, the person who moves in silence becomes a threat. And Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. Power doesn't come from noise, it comes from being unreadable. They've told you to be kind, open, expressive, that transparency builds trust. But that's not how the world works. People don't trust what they understand. They trust what they fear. And fear is born the moment someone looks at you and realizes they don't know what you're thinking. That's when power shifts. That's when dominance begins. You stop being someone they manage and become someone they tiptoe around. A terrifying personality isn't built through chaos. It's built through control, self-control, emotional control, psychological control. You become untouchable when you're no longer desperate to be touched. You stop chasing reactions. You stop explaining your silence. You stop leaking your intentions like a fool looking for sympathy. You let them stare and wonder what you're capable of, and you give them nothing. From this point forward, your job is simple. Become the storm they can't predict. Walk with focus. Speak with intention. Smile without warmth. You don't need their approval. You need their hesitation. That's how you shift from liked to feared, from ordinary to unforgettable. If this already resonates with you, comment this now. I don't chase respect, I command it. This isn't motivation, it's a transformation. Let's begin. Kill your need to be liked. The fastest way to lose power is to want to be liked. If they sense you're seeking approval, they will own you. Niccolo Machiavelli warned, men must either be feared or crushed, never loved unconditionally. Why? Because love is often based on convenience, but fear is based on perception of control. And in power games, perception rules reality. You cannot terrify anyone while begging for validation. They'll label you harmless. Approval is a leash, and most people are wearing it proudly. You walk into rooms adjusting your words, softening your tone, hiding your ambition just to be accepted by people who wouldn't blink if you failed. That's not connection, that's quiet submission. You're shrinking so others can feel comfortable, and they still don't respect you. You could give them everything and they'd still abandon you the second you say no. You've been raised to think likability is a strength. It isn't. It's a survival mechanism passed down by the weak. Likability is currency in a world run by people desperate for belonging, but power is allergic to desperation. When they sense you need their approval, they put you in a lower category, someone they can manipulate, someone they can flatter, use, and discard without consequence. You don't need to be rude to reject this mindset. You need to become emotionally unavailable for approval. Kill the little boy in you that wanted to be the favorite. Bury the people pleaser who apologized for being bold, and silence the voice that asks, "Did I go too far?" Power doesn't ask, it decides. The more you crave permission, the more invisible you become to those who hold it. There's a cold truth most never accept. People will never fully like someone they can't control. If you speak your mind without sugarcoating, if you set hard limits without flinching, if you walk away without guilt, they won't admire you. They'll resent you. They'll say you've changed, become arrogant, lost empathy. Let them. That's the price of power. Being misunderstood by the weak and feared by the manipulative. You'll notice something once you stop caring about being liked. The tone of every room you enter shifts. People watch you longer. They weigh their words more carefully. Your presence becomes heavier. Why? Because you're no longer trying to blend in. You're not playing by emotional etiquette. You've chosen to be the signal in a room full of noise. And that's unsettling to those who crave control. From now on, you don't bend to be liked, you stand to be noticed. You don't explain your choices, you enforce them. You don't ask, "Is this okay?" You say, "This is who I am." Let them feel the shift. Let them sense the distance. When you stop chasing acceptance, they start chasing your attention. Comment this now if you're done shrinking. I walk with quiet power and never explain yourself again. Make them guess, not understand you. They can't fear what they fully understand. Predictability makes you comfortable, and comfort kills influence. If they can map your emotions, if they always know what you'll do next, they stop respecting you. Machiavelli knew that. A prince must learn to be both visible and unknowable, present in the world, yet hidden in his intent. Because power isn't just about what you do, it's about what they think you're capable of. When people can read your face, decode your reactions, and expect your behavior, you become emotionally disarmed. You give them a manual, and they start pressing your buttons. That's how manipulators work. That's how fake friends test you. But when you withhold your emotional response, when you become unpredictable in your tone, your timing, your presence, they hesitate. And hesitation is power shifting into your hands. Mysterious people terrify the insecure, because insecurity feeds on control, and the unreadable cannot be controlled. You don't need to be loud to make people feel your presence. You need to become difficult to calculate. Speak less, answer slowly. Walk away when they expect a reaction. Let your silences create more tension than their noise ever could, because in the void of your explanation, they'll imagine something worse. There's a reason people obsess over those who give them mixed signals. It forces them into pursuit. When you're too transparent, there's no game, no tension, no mystique. But when you say little, act selectively, disappear without reason, and reappear with presence, you hijack their focus. They replay your words. They overanalyze your tone. They guess your motives. And each guess makes your image larger in their mind. You're not here to be figured out. You're here to be felt. You walk into a room and people should adjust their energy before they approach. They shouldn't know whether you'll speak or stay silent, whether you'll approve or walk away. That uncertainty creates psychological pressure, and pressure builds dominance. If they feel comfortable around you too quickly, you've revealed too much too soon. This is why you never explain your silence. You never justify your absence. You don't tell them what you're thinking. You show up like a signal, not a song. Your presence should say, "You don't get to understand me. You just react to me." And if they fear losing access to your mind, your energy, or your attention, that means you've done it right. Being mysterious isn't being fake. It's being disciplined with exposure. You don't owe anyone your thoughts. You don't owe anyone your inner world. You give only what sharpens your influence, nothing more. So stop giving explanations to people who only want to use them against you. Comment this now. Let them wonder. And remember, the more they guess, the more they respect. Charm them without getting close. Charm isn't about being liked, it's about bending the room. It's the ability to control attention without begging for it, to affect people without touching them. And here's the secret. True charm doesn't come from warmth. It comes from precision. Cold charm terrifies people because it feels intentional. You're not smiling out of kindness. You're smiling with a reason they can't quite place. People think charisma is about being friendly. That's false. The most powerful charisma is controlled, sharp, cold, mysterious. It's the calm eye contact that lingers just a second too long. It's the confident stillness in a room of noise. It's saying their name only once, but in a tone they remember for weeks. The key is simple. Make them feel seen, but never fully invited in. When you charm without attachment, people obsess. They replay conversations. They wonder why you were kind but distant. They try to decode your tone, your timing, your energy. That confusion creates interest, and interest becomes attraction. You didn't overshare. You didn't try to impress. You left them with tension. And the mind hates unresolved tension. That's how you take space in their thoughts without ever chasing it. Every powerful man knows this. Proximity is power, but distance is control. You speak to people, but you don't bond with them. You show interest, but not vulnerability. You use compliments sparingly, not as gifts, but as tools. You leave gaps in your energy. gaps that people try to fill with approval, pursuit, or curiosity. They try to earn more from you, and that keeps them loyal. This is why you don't flirt for fun. You don't entertain meaningless interactions. Every word, every look, every silence must have weight. When people know you're emotionally distant but still present, it creates imbalance. They don't know how to place you, and the longer they fail to define you, the more drawn in they become. Cold charm doesn't push people away. It pulls them deeper into confusion. Never let your charm turn into friendliness. Friendly people are forgettable. Strategic people are unforgettable. You're not trying to make everyone feel good. You're testing how they react to your distance. You're observing how they chase your attention, and the moment they expect connection, you give them silence. Not cruelty, just space. Because space is addictive to the emotionally needy. From this point forward, your words are weapons, not invitations. Your presence is energy, not comfort. You don't become more likable by being more open. You become more desirable by being rare, selective, and composed. Comment this now if you understand the game. My silence is seductive, because the most terrifying charm is the one that never gets too close. See everything, react to nothing. Powerful people observe, weak people react. If they can make you flinch, they know how to control you. That's why the most feared personalities in history shared one thing: emotional discipline. They saw the chaos, heard the lies, felt the tension, and said nothing. They made their moves when no one expected it. And that's what made their silence louder than any scream. You don't gain respect by reacting to every insult. You gain it by making people question why you didn't react, why you stayed still, why you smiled when they expected rage. Emotional silence creates confusion. It makes people rethink their approach. The moment you stop responding like everyone else, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is unsettling. It controls pace. The more composed you are, the more threatening you become, because people can't decipher whether you're calm or simply waiting to strike. That ambiguity? That's where psychological dominance begins. You need to stop thinking that being respectful means being emotionally exposed. You can be kind and still untouchable. You can speak gently while saying nothing. The trick is in not reacting.